Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, ʻmeːklənbʊʁk unregistered trademark ʻmeːklənbʊʁk, is a federated state in northern Germany. The capital city is Schwerin. The state was formed through the merger of the historic regions of Mecklenburg and Vorpommern after World War II, dissolved in 1952 and recreated prior to the German reunification in 1990. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is the sixth largest German state by area, and the least densely populated. The coastline of the Baltic Sea, including islands such as Rügen and Usedom, as well as the Mecklenburg Lake District, feature many holiday resorts and unspoilt nature, making Mecklenburg-Vorpommern one of Germany's leading tourist destinations. 3 of Germany's 14 national parks are in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, in addition to several hundred nature conservation areas. Major cities include Rostock, Schwerin, Neubrandenburg, Stralsund, Greifswald, Wismar and Garwin-Stroh. The University of Rostock and the University of Greifswald are among the oldest in Europe. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern was the site of the 33rd G8 summit in 2007. Name: due to its lengthy name, the state is often abbreviated as MV or shortened to MECKPOMM. In English, it is sometimes translated as Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania or literally Mecklenburg-sized Pomerania. Inhabitants are called either Mecklenburger or Pomeranians, the combined form is never used. The full name in German is pronounced, ʻmeːklənbʊʁk unregistered trademark ʻmeːklənbʊʁk. Sometimes, Mecklenburg is pronounced, ʻmecklenbʊʁk unregistered trademark ʻmeʁk. This is because the digraph ck marks a preceding short vowel in High German. Mecklenburg however is within the historical Low German language area, and the C appeared in its name during the period of transition to Standard, that is High German usage. The introduction of the C is explained as follows: either the C signals the stretched pronunciation of the preceding E, or it signals the pronunciation of the subsequent K as an occlusive, K, to prevent it from falsely being rendered as a fricative, I, following a Low German trend. Another explanation is that the C comes from a mannerism in High German officialese of writing unnecessary letters, a so-called Letterner-currency. History. In the aftermath of World War II and the German reunification in 1990, the state was constituted from the historic states of Mecklenburg and Vorpommern, both of which had long and rich independent histories. Prehistory. Human settlement in the area of modern Mecklenburg and Vorpommern began after the Ice Age, about 10,000 BC. About 2,000 years ago, Germanic peoples were recorded in the area. Most of them left during the migration period, heading towards Spain, Italy and France, leaving the area relatively deserted. In the 6th century Pelagian Slavs populated the area. While Mecklenburg was settled by the Ovtrites, Vorpommern was settled by the Veliti and the Rani. Along the coast, Vikings and Slavs established trade posts like Rerik, Ralswiek and Menzlin. In the 12th century, Mecklenburg and Vorpommern were conquered by Henry the Lion and incorporated into the Duchy of Saxony, joining the Holy Roman Empire in the 1180s. All of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern was settled with Germans in the Ostsiedlung process, starting in the 12th century. Mecklenburg. In the late 12th century, Henry the Lion, Duke of the Saxons, conquered the Ovtrites, subjugated its Nickloting dynasty, and Christianized its people. In the course of time, German monks, nobility, peasants and traders arrived to settle here. After the 12th century, the territory remained stable and relatively independent of its neighbors. One of the few German territories for which this is true. Mecklenburg first became a duchy of the Holy Roman Empire in 1348. Though later partitioned and repartitioned within the same dynasty, Mecklenburg always shared a common history and identity. The states of Mecklenburg-Schwerin and Grand Duchy of Mecklenburg-Strelitz became Grand Duchies in 1815. After World War I and the abdication of the German Kaiser, the monarchy was abolished and a republican government of Mecklenburg was established. Vorpommern. Vorpommern, literally Vorpommern, is the smaller, western part of the former Prussian province of Pomerania. The eastern part became part of Poland after the end of World War II. In the Middle Ages, the area was ruled by the Pomeranian dukes as part of the Duchy of Pomerania. Pomerania was under Swedish rule after the Peace of Westphalia from 1648 until 1815 as Swedish Pomerania. Pomerania then became a province of Prussia in 1815. It remained a Prussian province until 1945. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, wartime. In May 1945, the armies of the Soviet Union and the Western Allies met east of Schwerin. Following the Potsdam Agreement, the Western Allies handed over Mecklenburg to the Soviets. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern was established on July 9, 1945, by Order No. 5 of Red Army Marshal Georgy Zhukov, head of the Soviet military administration in Germany, as the province of Mecklenburg and West Pomerania. During the war, the makeup of Mecklenburg and Vorpommern's population changed due to wartime losses and the influx of evacuees. After the war, people who fled and were expelled from the former eastern territories of Germany east of the Oder-Neisse line settled in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, increasing the population by 40%. Before the war, Mecklenburg and Western Pomerania had a population of 1,278,700, of whom many perished during the war and others moved west in the course of the Red Army's advance. In 1947, some 1,426,000 refugees from the former eastern parts of Germany were counted. Most of them settled in rural communities, but the urban population also increased, most notably in Schwerin from 65,000 to 99,518, in Wismar from 29,463 to 44,173, and in Greifswald from 29,488 to 43,897. GDR, on June 5, 1946, a law enacted by the Soviets constituted a provisional German administration under Soviet supervision on June 29, 1946. After the rigged elections of October 20, 1946, the Landtag replaced the Beratendversammlung and created the Constitution of January 16, 1947, for the land Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. On April 18, 1947, the state's name was shortened to Land Mecklenburg. The GDR regime attempted to downplay the fact that Germany had made significant concessions to Poland after the war, including a ban on the use of any terms referring to these former territories. Mecklenburg was a constituent state of the German Democratic Republic upon its formation in 1949. In 1952, the East Berlin government abandoned states in favor of districts. As a result of this, Mecklenburg and Vorpommern were replaced by three districts covering roughly the same area: Bezirk Rostock, Bezirk Schwerin and Bezirk Neubrandenburg. These were commonly known as the Nordbezirk under the highly centralized GDR government. The changes also erased the historical border between Mecklenburg and Pomerania from the maps. The East German government developed the shipyards in the old Hanseatic ports, and also established the Greifswald nuclear power plant in Lubmin near Greifswald. Reunification. Prior to German reunification in 1990, the post-war eastern states were reconstituted, including the use of the full historic term Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Since 1990, the state has undergone dramatic changes, including the transformation from a largely industrial and agricultural economy towards a service, tourism and high-tech-driven one. The old town cores, hundreds of castles and manors, resort buildings, windmills, churches and various other cultural monuments of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern got renovated in recent years. Since 2013, the migration balance towards the state is positive again. Geography. Location and urban areas, 6th largest in area and 14th in overall population among Germany's 16 Bundesländer. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is bounded to the north by the Baltic Sea, to the west by Schleswig-Holstein, to the southwest by Lower Saxony, to the south by Brandenburg, and to the east by the West Pomeranian Voivodeship in Poland. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern state capital is Schwerin. The largest city is Rostock with approximately 205,000 people, followed by Schwerin. Other major cities include Neubrandenburg, Stralsund, Greifswald, Wismar and Garwon-Korta-Stroh. Districts. Since September 4, 2011, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is divided into 6 Kreise and 2 independent urban districts, Landkreis Rostock, Ludwigslust-Parchim, Mecklenburgische Seenplatte, Nordist Mecklenburg, Vorpommern Greifswald, Vorpommern Rauhen-Quartigen, and Rostock, Schwerin, landscape. The state's Baltic Sea coast features several islands, most notably Germany's 2 biggest islands Rügen and Usedom, but also a number of smaller islands such as Hidden Sea and ʻfoːhteL. The southern part of the state is marked by a multitude of lakes, the largest of which is Lake ʻmeːklənbʊʁk. The state of 1,000 lakes is mainly characterized by its unspoilt nature. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern's varied coastline also has many peninsulas such as Fischlande Zingst, lagoons and islands. Due to its clean air and idyllic setting, medical tourism has become a notable tourism sector in the region. A total of 283 nature reserves, 110 landscape reserves and 3 of Germany's 14 national parks are scattered all over the state. Many lakes used for fishing and water sports are located in the Mecklenburg Lake District. As the state has Germany's longest coastline and some of its largest islands and lakes, it is a popular place for windsurfing and sailing, for example the Hans Sail event in Rostock. National parks, culture. Over the centuries, Mecklenburg and Vorpommern have developed and maintained strong regional cultures. It can generally be described as North German and has similar linguistic and historic characteristics to other North German states, such as Schleswig-Holstein. People in Vorpommern, as a result of that territory being a former province of Prussia, tend to look slightly more towards Berlin and Brandenburg than people in Mecklenburg would. Architecture. The cities are characterized by a certain Hanseatic style also found in other parts of northern Germany as well as in countries bordering the Baltic Sea like Estonia or Latvia. A common feature of many towns in Mecklenburg and Vorpommern are red brick Gothic churches and houses dating back to the Middle Ages. Also stepped and tailed gables are a typical feature of the Hanseatic old towns, such as Stralsund, Wismar and Greifswald. The old towns are usually built around one or several marketplaces with a church or the town hall. Often towns were founded at the Baltic Sea, one of the many lakes or a river for logistical and trade motives. Rural areas of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern are often characterized by brick Gothic village churches and agricultural heritage, like brick homesteads, thatched roof houses, windmills, manor houses and castles. Museums, art and theaters. The largest publicly funded theaters in the state are the Mecklenburg State Theater, the Rostock People's Theater, the Theater of West Pomerania, with venues in Stralsund, Putbus and Greifswald, and the Mecklenburg State Theater of Neustrelitz with venues in New Brandenburg and Neustrelitz. All 4 theaters offer both drama and musical theater as well as orchestral music. Other important theaters are the Ernst Barlach Theater of Garwan-Quarter-Stroh, the Theater of Parchim, the Anklam Theater and the Wismar Theater. There are also many small theaters on the Baltic coast and in individual artists' villages and resorts. Since its growing importance for summer tourism, open-air theaters and festivals become more common again as well, such as the Star Paragraph Rebecca Festival on the island of Rauhen-Quartigen, and the Veneta Festival on Usedom. Since 1993, the Star Paragraph Rebecca Festival has taken place in Rolsvik on the island of Rauhen-Quartigen. It is Germany's most successful open-air theatre. Notable museums include, for example, the Schwerin State Museum and the Pomeranian State Museum at Greifswald. The German Maritime Museum with its Ozeneum in Stralsund is the most popular museum in northern Germany. Furthermore, the German Amber Museum in Reibnitz-Damgarten, Rostock's Abbey of the Holy Cross and Rostock Art Gallery are of national importance. The oldest museum in Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania is Stralsund's Cultural History Museum, the smallest is the Professor van Nijde's Sculpture Museum in Ploemc. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is home to many cultural events throughout the year. During summer, many open-air concerts and operas are opening to visitors. The Mecklenburg-Vorpommern Festival attracts a sizable audience by performing classical concerts in parks, churches and castles. Caspar David Friedrich, a famous Romanticist painter born in Greifswald, immortalized parts of the state in several of his paintings. Language. Today the vast majority of people speak Standard German. A few centuries ago most people spoke Low German. Food and drinks. Like most German regions, Mecklenburg and Vorpommern have their own traditional dishes, often including fish, beef and pork. Rostock has its own type of bratwurst called Rostocker Bratwurst. A famous dish from Western Pomerania is Bismarck herring. Rotgrau 1/4 Zur is a popular dessert. The largest brewery produces La 1/4 BZER Pils. Religion. The majority of the citizens of Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania are irreligious or unaffiliated. As of 2010, 17.3% are members of the Evangelical Church in Germany and 3.3% of the Catholic Church. Following the Christian Reformation, led in Germany by Martin Luther, as well as a period of Swedish rule, the traditional faith in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is Protestantism, specifically Lutheranism. There are also a number of Catholics and people of other faiths. Both confessions are split at the old border. Mecklenburg belongs to the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Mecklenburg and the Archdiocese of Hamburg. West Pomerania forms the Pomeranian Evangelical Church or belongs to the Archdiocese of Berlin. As to the Protestants, a union to form a North Church is in progress. Education. Universities and colleges. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern has two of the oldest universities of Germany, and indeed Europe, University of Greifswald, University of Rostock. Also, there are 4 colleges/technological universities. Baltic College Gar 1/4 Stro, Fachhochschule für 1/4 Ra Paragraph Fendlich Verwaltung, Rechtspflege und Polizei Gar 1/4 Stro, Hochschule Neubrandenburg, Fachhochschule Stralsund, Hochschule Wismar, Rostock University of Music and Theatre. Schools. The state school system is centralized. There are 2 main types of schools, Regionalschule and Gymnasium. Besides, there are also independent schools, comprehensive schools and trade schools. Politics. Article 20 of the state constitution states that the Landtag is the site of political decision-making. The Mecklenburg-Vorpommern Landtag is elected democratically by the citizens of the state who sit for one 5-year legislative period at a time. At least 4 parties must form the Landtag. The seat of Landtag is located at Schwerin Palace in Schwerin. The essential functions of the Landtag is to elect the minister-president of the state, to discuss and decide on laws which have been proposed by the government, by a people's initiative or a petition for a referendum initiated directly by the people, and to control the state government. Minister-president. The executive is led by a cabinet, in turn led by a minister-president, who is the official head of government. The election to determine the minister-president is held no later than 4 weeks after the newly elected Landtag starts. Landtag. The last election of the Landtag took place on September 4, 2011. As a result of the 2006 election, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is governed by a grand coalition of SPD and CDU. Erwin Sellering has continued to lead this coalition since the Social Democrats' victory in the 2011 election. 2011 preliminary election results. Official preliminary results from the election of September 4, 2011 as of September 5, 2011, Economy. The labor market. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is the least densely populated and least industrial German state, being the 6th largest in size, but only 14th in population. The unemployment rate has gone down to 10.7%. Formerly, it has been negatively affected by the breakdown of non-competitive former GDR industries after the German reunification in the 1990s. Now it is the lowest in more than 15 years while the economy is growing and the number of jobs is increasing continually. Growing sectors are biotechnology, information technology, life sciences, maritime industry and tourist services. In Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, approximately 732,200 people were gainfully employed in 2008 with 657,100 of them were white and blue-collar workers. About 4,200 new jobs were created in 2007. Employees worked an average of 1,455 hours a year. The number of self-employed did not change in 2008. 3 out of every 4 of all people in work are employed in the service sector. Tourism. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is the top destination for inner German tourism and gains importance for international tourism. The main tourist regions are islands Rügen and Usedom, Poel and Hidden Sea. Peninsula, Fischlanderei-Zingst. Seaside resorts, Benz, Boltenhagen, Graalmar Ritz, Heringsdorf. Szczecin Lagoon, Weckemer NDE. Hinterland, particularly the Mecklenburg Lake District. And, cities, Stralsund and Wismar, Rostock and Greifswald, which have a diverse cultural heritage. Night sky. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is home to some of the most pristine night skies in Germany, especially in the area near Nationalpark Ritz. It is a potential site for a dark sky park. As a relic of its rich history, nearly 2,000 castles, palaces and manor houses exist in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, many of which are used as venues for public events like concerts and festivals, such as Festspiel MV. Medical tourism based on the clean air and idyllic settings by the Baltic Sea has a growing importance to the regional tourism industry. Sport. Main sporting attractions include the German Football League games of FC Hansa Rostock and the international sailing event Hans Sail. Had the bid for the 2012 Summer Olympics in Leipzig been successful, the sailing competitions would have taken place off the coast of Rostock. Notable people. Arts and film, Ernst Barlach, Friedrich von Flitow, Caspar David Friedrich, Marianne Hopp, Till Lindemann, Philipp Otto Runge. Business, Ernst Hinkel, Karl Heinrich von Siemens, Leonhard Tietz, Georg Wertheim. Literature, Ernst Moritz Arndt, John Brinkmann, Hans Fallada, Walter Kempowski, Fritz Reuter, Rudolf Tannow, William Welk. Politics, Ernst Moritz Arndt, Dietmar Bartsch, Egon Krenz, Helmut von Moltke the Elder, Harold Ringstoff, Angela Merkel, Joachim Gauck, Gebhard Leberecht von Blau-Scher. Science, Theodor Billroth, Friedrich Trisander, Walther Fleming, Gottlob Frege, Otto Lilienthal, Gustav May, Ferdinand von Müller, Paul Pogge, Karl Wilhelm Scheele, Heinrich Schliemann, Johannes Stark. Sports, Tim Borowski, Andreas Dittmar, Thomas Doll, Marita Koch, Tony Cruz, Jan Ulrich, Jens Voigt, Sebastian Sylvester. Miscellaneous. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is Germany's #1 tourist location, the main destinations being the Baltic Sea coastline with islands such as Rügen or Usedom, spa towns like Illegendum, Lungsborn, Boltenhagen or Warnemar NDE in the Mecklenburg Lake District. It also offers important historical cities, such as Stralsund, Wismar, Greifswald and Rostock as former Hanseatic cities or Schwerin, Gar Stroh, Ludwigslust and Neustrelitz as former residences. The historic old towns of Stralsund and Wismar are World Heritage Sites. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is the least densely populated German state. The largest city is Rostock, followed by the state's capital Schwerin. During the chancellorship of Angela Merkel, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern hosted the first official public meeting with President George W. Bush in 2006 and the 33rd G8 summit in 2007. Both political events were financed by state and federal budgets. Gallery. See also. References. External links, official Mecklenburg-Vorpommern portal, official tourism website of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, geographic data related to Mecklenburg-Vorpommern at OpenStreetMap.